players that you must avoid at their current ADP coming out of the AL East. One pitcher and one hitter. I'm Alan Seslowsky. He's Jeff Erickson. Who's the pitcher that you must avoid?
I'm avoiding Aroldis Chapman for the cost. He scares me because the walk rate spiraling, he's throwing fewer innings than most of the closers out there. Seems like he's getting hurt a little bit more. He still throws hella hard, but not as hella hard as he used to. It's all relative to scale, right? Chad Green, Jonathan Loizaga are both guys that could easily step right in. So I just don't want to pay a top 7 closer price for him. So I'm not taking Aroldis Chapman.
What round is he going in right now?
He's a top 7 closer. I don't want him in that grouping.
Who's a Yankee hitter that's just too expensive in drafts right now?
Gary Sanchez, I think, and Joey Gallo for the same reason. They're going to absolutely tank your batting average. And I find myself never rostering Joey Gallo. I can't tell you how many. I think it's probably like 1 or 2 times have I ever had Joey Gallo on my teams, just because 180 is in play with him, 190 is in play. If he has a year where he hits 240, okay, you're probably going to beat me at Joey Gallo, but it just doesn't happen that often. So I've been avoiding him pretty regularly.
Who's a pitcher on the Orioles that you absolutely do not want to draft, that you see some people drafting and you start scratching your head?
I'm going to avoid the closer battle. So I picked up Cole Sulser in the past couple of years because, hey, all saves are currency. But when the Orioles go on a 15-game losing streak, you're getting no save opportunities. And you're talking about a guy that doesn't have a full-time gig anyhow. So either Sulser or Taylor Wells or whoever they decide to go to. So I'm just kind of waving my hands and going, la, 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 la. I'm not listening when it comes up to any Orioles relief pitcher that comes up.
Who's the biggest Orioles hitter trap in drafts that you've seen?
I would say it's Ryan Mountcastle, over 30 homers last year. They're moving the fences back in Camden Yards at left field, moving them back by a good amount and up. So I think that home run drop, he might have already been a little too high in terms of like how many homers he hits, but combined regression plus the ballpark changes, I think it hurts him quite a bit.
Okay, I want to talk about the Blue Jays. Is there a pitcher that you're just telling people do not draft?
For the price, I'm saying do not draft Kevin Gausman. If you get a discount on him, it's okay. Coming off best year, contract year, just signed a big contract to join the Blue Jays. I do like Pete Walker, their pitching coach, but he's going from the NL West and Petco Park in San Francisco. I almost said Petco, but that would be San Diego. The NL West and San Francisco in a great ballpark there to Toronto. He's got to face the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Rays on the regular. That's a tougher spot to be in there. And he started with the Orioles. Had all of his gains though in San Francisco. I think he's a good pitcher. I think he's legit, but I always try to avoid guys in contract years anyhow. And I think this is a good case. If you get he goes around pick 71. I'd prefer Max Fried, I prefer Joe Musgrove, and a handful of other starting pitchers in that range. If he goes down to like pick 100, then my mind's open again.
Who's the Blue Jay hitter that's likely to disappoint?
Same one that disappointed last year, Cavan Biggio. And I had a hard time picking a Blue Jays hitter to fade because Biggio might not. He's priced pretty cheap. He's like 20th round, 19th, 20th round. He just went in the 19th round of my TGFBI draft. But I wasn't even going to pay full price from there because he might be geared in the year in the minors. He's third base only this year. If you use 20 games to qualify, no longer gets second and outfield eligibility. He doesn't have a lock on the job, and he's still getting treated as if he is a starter. Might be, but it's not guaranteed.
Talking about the Boston Red Sox, their pitchers are getting drafted pretty high this year. Which one are you just staying away from?
I'm going to fade Nick Pivetta. I know he had a pretty decent breakthrough last year in the first half. He's a 378 guy, 129 whip, but his breakout was a 129 whip. That's a lot of walks in that profile. I try to avoid walks, guys. I don't like giving up one of the ratio categories if I can help it. And Pivetta, I don't think the K upside is worth it. I think there's a huge blow-up potential. So I'm staying away from Nick Pivetta.
Who's the obvious bust on the Red Sox for the hitting?
I don't like Alex Verdugo for the price. Pick 155. I know a lot of my colleagues like him, and I think they think it's a bargain, but I don't think he runs enough to justify the lack of power. I think you usually need one or the other. I mean, unless you're like an extreme batting average guy like Michael Brantley, then you can kind of get away with it. And Michael Brantley is 150 picks later than him. So I don't feel like investing that sort of price in Alex Verdugo. I'd rather take a chance on a guy that's either a power guy or stolen base guy. I don't think Verdugo is enough of either.
The Rays dominated this division last year. Lots of good players to pick from, but who's the pitcher who's just too expensive right now?
So I'm going to give you two really good Rays players that I like a lot, but I have a feeling, and I love this guy. I love Shane McClanahan, but I don't think he's going to throw enough innings to justify his pick 113 price. I think the way the Rays manage their pitchers, he's going to lose out on some opportunities for wins. And it breaks my heart to say this because I love watching McClanahan pitch, but I just don't think I'm going to be paying that price for him.
Who's a player that you'll take in that area when someone else is taking McClanahan?
I take Dansby Swanson there. We've talked about Dansby Swanson. Sometimes I'm taking a closer there. I might take Jesse Winker there instead. If I'm going to take a starting pitcher, Alek Manoah, Justin Verlander go slightly ahead of him. Some starting pitchers that go after him that I might look at is like Zach Gallen. I might take him or Nathan Eovaldi. I think McClanahan could be great. I might regret saying this one, but at the same time, I feel like you're going to be frustrated with the innings and him getting yanked in before he has a chance to get the win.
A lot of sharp players are excited to take the Rays bats. Who's the one that's just slightly overpriced and you must avoid?
So I wouldn't say must avoid, but again, this is one of those where I just don't like the price. Wander Franco, everybody loves. I love him. I think he's great. But, and it's always a but because we're doing avoids and fades. Again, not enough power or speed to justify that third round price he's going for. Everyone wants to compare him to Vlad, and okay, he's about to bust out, and you're going to regret seeing this, generational prospect go by. This is the last chance you get him at this price, blah, blah, blah. I think it's next year. I don't think it's this year. I don't know if he runs enough ever to justify that. So that'd be my slight concern.
The best way to get prepared for fantasy baseball drafts is the RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Draft Kit. And right now you can get it for free for 10 days. Go to rotowire.com/try.